with the leadership of His Excellency here and the team here and the technical people I see in this room, we are going to have a vibrant fisheries and blue economy, which is going to support the vast fisher folk and also support the country. Asanteni sana.
All right, thank you very much, Tom, for highlighting some of the issues in the sector, and definitely you are speaking to the right audience. You have the Cabinet Secretary here, the PSs, and all the sector players that will be very instrumental in formulating the policies needed to have that shift. Now, allow us to move this conversation forward, and at this point, I'd like to invite Barbara Award to speak on behalf of the Council of Governors. Ms. Barbara, if you're here, karibu sana. A round of applause for her. It's been quiet in here. Karibu sana, welcome.
Thank you very much, Wana MC. Cabinet Secretary for Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs, Your Excellency Ali Hassan Joho, Principal Secretary for Mining, Principal Secretary for Blue Economy and Fisheries, Ms. Betsy Njagi, other Principal Secretaries present, members of Parliament, led by the Chairperson of the National Assembly Blue Economy Committee, Excellency Ambassadors, Development Partners present, National Government representatives, private sector representatives, NGOs, CSOs, BMU, led by the Chairperson, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First, let me relay the apologies of His Excellency Dr. Paulo Toma, the Chairperson of the Blue Economy Committee of the Council of Governors, who was not able to join us here today, as well as those of the CEO of the Council of Governors, Madam Mary Mwiti. And I will be delivering the speech on behalf of the CEO of the Council of Governors. Let me first begin by thanking the Ministry for inviting us to attend this very important event. It is a great honor to join you this morning for the launch of Kenya's Blue Economy Strategy, a milestone that affirms our country's commitment to unlocking the immense potential of our aquatic and marine resources in a sustainable, inclusive, and coordinated manner. The launch of the Kenya Blue Economy Strategy reflects the collective efforts of many institutions, partners, and individuals who believe in the potential of this sector. It demonstrates our shared commitment to sustainable growth, job creation, and environmental stewardship. As we celebrate this milestone, we are reminded that our real work begins now in translating this vision into tangible outcomes for our people. Esteemed guests, for counties, the blue economy is no longer an abstract concept. It is a lived reality. The sector supports an estimated 4 million Kenyans directly and indirectly as fishers, traders, processors, and service providers. And it plays a vital role in job creation, income generation, and food and nutrition security, key elements of the better agenda led by His Excellency the President. It is therefore imperative that as we move into the post-launch phase, our focus must naturally shift toward a framework of collaboration. Thus, the two levels of government have no option but to engage. In this spirit, we reaffirm our commitment to working together, despite the very many challenges and the conflicts we've had as presented by the BMU chair of who does what. That should no longer be a priority, but rather, in the spirit of the constitution of collaboration, we need to work together to make the strategy, and the strategy is therein a reality. In this effort, and in line with the resolution of the 12th National and County Government Summit, held on 10th December of 2025, where it was agreed that the Cabinet Secretary and the respective chairperson of the Council of Governors Committee, in this case Blue Economy, would convene their sector forums. This platform is therefore intended to enhance consultation and strengthen alignment of national and county priorities. Importantly, this forum would provide a structured mechanism for monitoring progress, reviewing implementation, and assessing the impact of the strategies and intervention proposed in the strategy that we're launching here today. In this regard, a call upon the Ministry of Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs to work closely with the Council of Comprehensive and Inclusive Intergovernmental Sector Forum framework. Ladies and gentlemen, critical to the successful implementation of this strategy is the private sector remains a key driver of investment, innovation, and job creation across the blue economy value chain. Intentional engagement with investors, entrepreneurs, and financial institutions will be essential in unlocking sustainable and inclusive growth. At the same time, development partners play an important role in providing catalytic financing, technical assistance, capacity building, and knowledge support at both national and county levels. We encourage continued alignment of partner interventions with national and county priorities to enhance ownership and long-term impact. Through strong public-private partnerships, as the PS has presented, and coordinated development cooperation, we can accelerate implementation and maximize socio-economic benefits.
I'm happy to see some of my friends and long-term clients, led by Honorable Bowen, members of the diplomatic corps, all protocols observed. First, I would like to start by congratulating for getting the opportunity to host our ocean chapter. This is not a mean feat. There were many countries in Africa to host this, but you managed to get this. That shows the steps you've taken to play the blue economy in the continent and in the world. And as a private sector, we will rally behind you. And here is a key step towards the key initiatives that are being rallied within this. And as a bank, UBA Bank, we don't want to sit on the sidelines. We'll join the ministry and the blue economy in the co-creating of these solutions. Within our framework, we have what we give as seed capital for some of these players. If you're looking at the fishermen in Lake Victoria or Mombasa, or CSR activities in terms of restorations, we mentioned about the move, to ensure that we get that going and contributing to the blue carbon for this country. As I conclude, I'd want to mention that policy alone is insufficient. Bankable and sustainable projects will be very critical in attracting capital, and capital is there. We launched a white paper sometime last year as a bank, looking at all our play in Africa, and we showed that we don't even need to go outside Africa. We have the money in the continent. If you look at the financial institution banks, if you look at the pension funds, if you look at even individuals in their own capacity that are looking to invest in this segment, are many. All we need is policy, innovative thinking, and collaboration with all the players. Private sector leadership will continue to multiply impact, and will scale the solutions that we'll be looking within this space. The DFIs that we've worked with, we've seen them coming up with some of the guarantees, and I've just mentioned a few of them that we've worked with. We've worked with the African Guarantee Fund in terms of de-risking some of these solutions. And UBA Kenya, we will implement the uptake of this credit to the people within sector. We believe that our oceans are our heritage, and through our strategic banking solutions, we will make it your future for everybody who is playing here. And I know those will be also the words for everybody else within the banking sector. As we understand more, as we engage with you more, we'll be able to build these solutions that speak to your problems. So as we go to our Ocean Conference 2011, we'll be looking at those opportunities that come into that room for this country, because you'll be bringing most of these investors here and seeing how we can be able to give them the solutions and partnerships that they need to be able to make this workable and create the jobs that we are looking at. Currently at 4 million, and looking at the space that we have in terms of coverage of the oceans and blue economy, we can probably move these jobs to higher levels than where we are currently. So private sector, we give you a commitment, and I urge everybody in the room to collaborate to provide the solutions, because nobody alone can be able to deliver what is called on for this sector. The pie is too big, and we can all participate. So thank you very much, and once again, congratulations, PS and the CS, for these great initiatives. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mary. And indeed, collaboration is the way to go. This is something that seemingly is the clarion call from all the speakers that we are getting. Now, at this point, as we speak about that collaboration, the other stakeholders that we need to collaborate with are our development partners. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and welcome Her Excellency Ambassador Henriette Greger of the EU delegation to Kenya. Makofi tafadhali as she comes.
Good morning, dear all. Honorable CS Mining, Blue Economy, Maritime Affairs, PS Blue Economy and Fisheries, PS Science, Research and Innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, dear excellencies, I'm very proud and happy to be here because it's a great day. It's the day when we launch the regulatory framework to unlock the endless potential that the blue economy holds for Kenya. For the longest time, I think Kenya has lived with the back to the sea. This is a grave mistake. We have heard from previous speakers the endless potential that is there in trying to potentialize what we have in our blue economy. And many people, when you say blue economy, you think ocean. No, all the waterways, all the lakes are blue. And also, I find in Kenya, we speak a lot about the green transition. But the green transition cannot be made without the blue transition. It's green-blue transition that we're talking about. And this has to be getting into the awareness of every Kenyan. I'm very happy that the private sector is fully on board, because it's the government's responsibility to set the regulatory framework. And I'm very happy that the European Union could contribute financially to that strategy. But it's all of you and all of us together to implement it, because without it, it's just a piece of paper. So that's why we're here, to see what we can do to implement this very solid framework that we have. And I think that the bold move of Kenya to host our Ocean Conference from 16 to 18 of June will further cement Kenya's role in the maritime sector internationally, but also nationally in the region. And several speakers before have spoken about the strategic position of Kenya, serving all the landlocked countries behind. So the potential is there, and it's not only in fisheries. Fisheries are very important, but there are so many other sectors that are connected to it, I'm just talking about sea freight, transport. The EU has been looking at that in a comprehensive way. So for years we have supported through our Go Blue program an integrated strategy for the entire coastal area. And we continue now with a new program, a regional program that joins Kenya with the Comoros, Djibouti, Madagascar, Mauritius, Mozambique, Seychelles, Somalia, and Tanzania. So the European Union has invested 8.7 billion Kenyan shillings in this program to fight illegal fishing, to foster investment in the blue economy. And Betsy, I'm very glad you spoke about bankable projects. So there are 3.7 billion Kenyan shillings in helping identify bankable projects. So Kenya can grab all of that money if it wants. And lastly, the protection of coastal and ocean ecosystems and blue carbon capture. This is another instrument that we can exploit here in Kenya. So the EU has also seen it in a more comprehensive way, because somebody has talked before about security. Maritime security is key. Without maritime security, you cannot unleash the potential. So that's why the EU has invested for many years in maritime security by two forces, EUNAVFOR Atalanta to fight and deter piracy, and Aspides, which is another naval operation to conquer the Houthis and their disruption of the seaways. We also are equipping the Kenyan Navy, so Kenya can secure its maritime space. And this all, so security and economic potential go hand in hand. The Kenyan Coast Guard also benefited with search and rescue boats, very powerful ones. And I will finish here by saying the EU is very, very aware of the enormous potential the blue economy holds for Kenya. And the strategy, the regulatory framework is there to have the certainty and the stability of the regulatory framework which allows the private sector to come in, both the national, the regional, but also the international investors. So I really, really think that we have a milestone today, but it's in all our hands to make it and convert it into a reality, so that the blue economy is finally contributing what it can to the GDP of this country. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana.
All right, thank you very much, Madam Ambassador. And still sticking with our development partners, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Ms. Marietta Kamara, who is the Country Director and Representative of IFAD Kenya. Karibu sana.
Honorable Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Members of Parliament, Excellency Governors or Governors Representative, Madam Principal Secretary is present here today, Ambassadors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. I'm excited to be here this morning for two reasons. One, I know for sure that I'll make heaven today. because coming for a breakfast meeting during a period of Ramadan and being such a foodie person, Principal Secretary, I remember to tell God that if I make heaven, you are responsible. But really, it's a privilege to speak on behalf of development partners and community, and on behalf of IFAD in particular, at this important moment, as Kenya unveils the Blue Economy Strategy, a bold framework that positions the country's oceans, lakes, and rivers at the center of its economic transformation agenda. Kenya's Blue Economic Strategy 2025 to 2030 is a strong statement of economic intent. When 90% of Kenya's trade is seaborne, when over 4 million livelihoods depends directly on fisheries, and by the way, that's over half of some countries' population, when the current fish production is approximately around 163,000 metric tons and has the potential to grow to over 450,000 metric tons by 2030. The blue economy is not just another sector, it's a microeconomic opportunity. This strategy demonstrates coherence and seriousness. With 65% of current blue economic contribution occurred in aquatic tourism, Kenya is now positioning itself to diversify and modernize the sector. The emphasis on aquaculture acceleration, fish ports, and cold chain expansion in Lamu and other coastal areas, blue carbon markets, structured instruments such as blue bonds, and the public-private sector framework signals that Kenya is designing its blue economy to be productive, inclusive, and bankable. Bankable in the sense that we are now encouraging private sector to invest. And as development partners, I think this is very critical to us because we are all moving towards ensuring that we really do a blended finance in Kenya. From a development partner perspective, 3 priorities stand out for me. 1, expanding agriculture towards 450,000 metric tons is a food security and job creation issue. Secondly, the integration of mangrove restoration, blue carbon markets positions Kenya to mobilize global and very important climate finance. And the strengthening of the government financing system enhances investor confidence and long-term sustainability. Kenya's strategic location along the Indian Ocean, serving a regional market of over 300 million people, provides natural advantage and strategically provides the policy architecture to convert that advantage into growth. For IFAD, and when I say IFAD, I'm not just talking about IFAD, I'm talking about other development partners as well. Supporting small-scale farmers, agriculture entrepreneurs, and inclusive value chain is central to our mandates. We stand ready, Madam PS, and with other partners to mobilize the required concessional and climate resources that ensures blue growth reaches household not only at market level but at household level. Honorable CS, having a strategy is one thing, but forcing development partners to adhere to that strategy is another thing. So on behalf of my development partner colleagues, we want to make a pledge and a commitment that we will stick to the strategy, we'll ensure that the strategies are implemented according to our own development aspirations, and ensure that we provide all the required support for a dynamic ministry as the State Department of Fisheries. Again, we want to reiterate that as development partners, we're here to complement the efforts of governance. Therefore, moving forward, we now have something that we are all proud to work with. We have something that will serve as a blueprint for all of us. We have something that will serve as a reference point. And I think that makes our life very easy. So on behalf of IFAD and all the other development partners present here today, I want to reiterate our commitment not only to support the strategy, but to ensure that we provide all the required advices, all the required possibilities that will make sure that we implement this strategy to its fullest. On that note, thank you so much for inviting us, and congratulations on this big achievement. But again, I am not surprised because it's a woman that is leading the State Department.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Kamara. Another round of applause for her. Definitely appreciating all the work that our development partners are currently doing, and yes, you definitely will go to heaven. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we sit here today, we can have wonderful conversations, we can have wonderful breakfast, but unless it is anchored in policy, it is all talk. Unless we have the policy to back it up, it is all just conversation and a wonderful time to catch up. And on that note, we want to understand what is currently happening in the policy environment, and to help us with that is the chair of the National Assembly Committee. That is, let me get it this right, Mheshimiwa. It's all right. You can start making your way. That is the Honorable Kangogo Bowen, who is, all right, there we go, who is the chair of the National Assembly Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation. Makofi tafadhali for Mheshimiwa.
Thank you very much. The Cabinet Secretary, the Honorable Hali Hassan Joho, our Principal Secretary, the members of Parliament present, and these are my colleagues, and I think I have some few. The Vice Chair of the committee, the Member of Parliament from Kuria East. Then there is also, I think I saw some few there, and Suda. So our development partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kangogo Bowen. I am the Member of Parliament Marakwet East, and also the chairperson of the Committee of Water, Irrigation and Blue Economy Committee in the National Assembly. First, I want to congratulate the ministry led by the CS for launching the Blue Economy Strategy. Congratulations. I also want to congratulate the CS, Ali Hassan Joho. For the first time as a country, we are discussing, we are talking about blue economy. And I want to also congratulate His Excellency the President for creating this ministry. Because before, the blue economy used to be under the Ministry of Agriculture. And it got lost there. So at the Ministry of Agriculture, people would talk about crops, animals, cattle, sheep, and everything. So the blue economy, it was never there. So I want to thank the President for creating this ministry. And since the ministry was created about 2 and a half years or 3 years ago, the Cabinet Secretary and the Principal Secretary, they have steered the ministry that now it is visible all across the country. People now are talking about blue economy. So congratulations, PS and CS. Those who spoke before me, including the chair of PMUs, they have talked about quite a number of issues. They have raised about the issues of sustainability, about environmental pollutions in our auctions, and so many other things. Parliament, we are committed to support the ministry and to support the government to make sure that we achieve all what we want to achieve in the blue economy space. In the recent past, we have had a lot of legislations and policies in Parliament for blue economy. Like just recently, we passed about 8 regulations. The regulations to do with marine, the inland waters, the aquaculture, the PMU regulations, and recreation also regulations were passed, both in the National Assembly and in the Senate. So, and Kenya also, in our constitution, also provides that whatever international treaties we sign forms part of our laws. And recently, under my chairmanship and the members of parliament who are here, we passed the PPNJ Treaty. We also passed the WTO Fisheries Subsidies Treaty, both in the National Assembly and also in the Senate. So, to our investors, our partners, our stakeholders, I want to say, as the legislators, the members of parliament, we remain committed to providing the enabling legislative, the regulation and the policy environment together with the resources, because we allocate resources to the ministry while exercising our oversight mandate to ensure the investment in this sector translate into a tangible socio-economic outcomes for all Kenyans. So we want to encourage our development partners that even as we discuss these blue economy matters here, we also have a PPP framework which we want also to align. Recently, we aligned our PPP laws in the water sector, and now also with the ministry on how we can also align our PPP regulations, policies, and legislations in the blue economy sector. Those many remarks, I want to thank you and congratulations, Madam CS and PS, for letting me go.
Another round of applause for Mheshimiwa. Asante sana Mheshimiwa, and of course for making sure that the sector has the capital and the funding that it currently requires. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the tail end of this morning session, and this is the critical part where we will be hearing from our chief guest and our host, that is the PS in the State Department, who will also be welcoming the CS to give his keynote address. But for now, let's all put our hands together for the PS, Ms. Betsy Njangi, the PS State Department for Blue Economy and Fisheries, to make her remarks.
Thank you, MC. We are almost coming to a close. And please, let's clap for the speakers who spoke here earlier on. Because they spoke on behalf of all of us, everybody couldn't have spoken here today because of time, but we really appreciate. So before I welcome the CS, kindly allow me to just invite my colleagues. There are 3 of them. I give them each a minute to say hello and to also tell you how they fit in this blue economy strategy. So I'll start with my colleague PS, Aden Miller, the PS in the State Department for Shipping and Maritime Affairs. Aden Miller, karibu.
Let me ride on the protocols already established by our CS. Thank you, Madam Betty, my colleague PS. I'm the PS for Shipping and Maritime Affairs under the same ministry. I have a colleague here who is the PS for Mining. We're 3 of us under the CS. On matters blue economy, that's the next frontier, as you all know, all over the world, especially in the third world and Africa, the next economic prosperity. In Kenya, our legal framework is very strong and very solid for investors on matters blue economy. Our international cooperation on matters security of the ocean is already in place. From the Djibouti Code of Conduct, as you know, and all the countries involved from Djibouti to Mauritius to Mozambique, we cooperate very closely on matters security. We cooperate very closely with the Kenya Coast Guard, with the Kenya Navy. Recently, you found that we arrested an Iranian ship carrying cocaine. That was a great cooperation between Kenya and the first people who saw that ship was Mauritius helicopters flown by Mauritius Coast Guard. Currently, that one is not allowed. but we're looking also to open that. So, Madam, thank you very much.
At Abdul Razak, the PS for Science, Research and Innovation, and he'll speak into how we collaborate together with the Research Institute and the State Department to ensure the activities you have seen happen. Karibu PS.
Thank you very much, PS Betsy. Our CS, Honorable Ali Hassan Joho, the dignitaries who are here, I see quite a number of my friends, ambassadors led by EU Ambassador, all the members of parliament, scientists, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to get a minute or two to speak to you. You've heard that Kenya is on the trajectory of going to Singapore. And if we are to go to Singapore, then it is science, research, and innovation that is going to take us there. This is the engine, so to speak, of what we are going to unlock, what we've been talking about here in terms of potential to prosperity. And I think in this sector of the blue economy and looking at the entire bioeconomy sector, the potential is huge. My sister, Betsy, is talking about 0.7% contribution of the GDP. The potential, we can go up to 2.5% of the GDP, contributing almost 180 billion Kenya shillings. But for us to be able to do that, we must be able to look at the scientific intervention, science that is going to translate the product into commercialization. We must be able to embrace innovation as well. And I'm glad in this space, the State Department has been supporting Kenya Marine and Fisheries in the tune of 100 million. Just to pick an example of the hatchery that we completed very successfully in Shimoni, where we are producing almost 2 million fingerlings on prawns and rabbit fish that costed almost 54 billion. His Excellency the President is very committed to support this space, moving from 0.8% of the GDP to 1% and eventually 2% of the GDP, so that we can be able to do more with the less for more. Our oceans are not going to expand. We need to look for ways and means of how we can be able to harness the potential that we have. And I'm very thankful, Excellency the Ambassador EU. I know we are talking about bankable documents. Recently, we brought scientists in this country so that we could take them through of how we can be able to take full advantage in building their capacity in resource mobilization. So we are working very closely with my sister here, Blue Economy, of course, mining and the maritime will also need the interventions of innovation. And lastly, we really want to expand on this space of innovation hubs so that we can entice our youth to take full advantage of what is available under the blue economy. So for me, it's really to congratulate you and of course, His Excellency, our CS, for the leadership that we've provided, and you can count on us that science, technology, and innovation is going to add value in all the things that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, PS. You have broken down how we can continue collaborating. I don't want to deliberate on that. Next and last, I wish to invite my colleague PS in the State Department of Mining, Mr. Harry Kimtai.
Thank you, Madam Betsy. Excellency Cabinet Secretary Hassan Ali Joho, the chair of the committee dealing with the blue economy waters, my friend, will allow me to write on the protocols that already existed before, because I've been given 1 minute just to talk about mining. In Kenya, when you talk about mining, you cannot link it to the blue economy. And sometimes they think I'm misplaced in the State Department for Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs. But here is the linkage, ladies and gentlemen. One, I think I like what Dr. Jacqueline has just presented in terms of the spatial planning that we have done with the marine sector.
And if you realize in there are gaps. One, because it's not showing the mineral occurrences within that space. Two, when I had the chance to have looked at the two documents, including the strategic plan for the State Department for Blue Economy, and I'm happy that today that has been unveiled to you, it has been presented to you. In the strategy, you see there are pillars that are there. One of the pillars is mining. And when you went further, you realize that they have not developed a bankable project in mining. The reason is that we've just finished doing our National Aerial Geophysical Survey, which has shown the mineral occurrences across our landmass, but we have not done the survey for our blue economy. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to inform you that together with the development partners, now our team in the geological department or directorate is being capacity built so that they are able to undertake that survey. And we're also planning to do the survey for all our sea, our ocean, and specifically our lakes. And then you can now see the linkage that is going to occur in between us, the State Department for Mining, and the State Department for Blue Economy, where now we'll bring in the private sector to come and support. So we look forward to this very important meeting, and we are happy that we have brought in all the development partners, where they will be looking at each sector separately. I'm very happy to hear the support from the financial institutions. That's another area that the mining sector is lagging behind. And if you look at the projections of this country, how are we going to develop this economy? How are we going to go to Singapore? One of the critical sectors that is going to drive us to Singapore status, if we are to achieve it in the shortest time possible, it is through the mining sector. It is the resources that are available both in our landmass and also in our sea. So it is important that we start working together so that we're able to develop this. I'm happy to note that already funds are there, because in our mining sector, we lack funding because mining is an expensive exploration. It takes time because you have to do prospecting, you have to do research, as my colleague has said, and all that involves money at the initial time. And then when you now start doing the implementation of the bankable project that has been confirmed through the definitive feasibility study, then we can come to the banks for the money or the financial institutions so that these projects can be realized and our country can move forward. Thank you. And I want to congratulate my colleague for this very wonderful breakfast meeting that has brought in, I've never seen, where you bring in all this number of people coming together. We've been trying to arrange such kind of meetings, but it's not been very easy. Congratulations, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, PS. And earlier on, the Honorable Member of Parliament, he said it very clearly. Previously, the mining department was with energy and petroleum. Fisheries department was with agriculture and livestock. Maritime department was with roads and transport. And those three key departments are the departments that can change the country, can change the economy of this country, and improve the lives of the people. So we want to thank His Excellency the President for having that wisdom. In the Executive Order number 2, he created this ministry. And he did it and gave it to the leadership of our able Cabinet Secretary, Hassan Joho, who is a visionary leader and he understands the sector. He's not learning about the sector. He really lives and breathes the sector. So, Waziri, you are the right man for the job. So, distinguished colleagues and partners, earlier today, I had the privilege of walking you through the key pillars and priorities of our national blue economic strategy. I just want to return for just 1 minute to just unveil this strategy in a digital version, and we'll be sharing the copies to your offices. So just watch for 1 minute before I call the CS. Thank you. This strategy will not remain as a well-written document in our shelves. Our Cabinet Secretary believes firmly in action, and we carry the responsibility of ensuring that the commitments we have made here today are translated into real outcomes, delivered within timelines that we have set for ourselves. Our coastal communities, our lakeside economies, and our future generations depend on this. By making this strategy available digitally, we reaffirm our commitment to transparency, inclusive, and collaboration with every partner here today, investor, research, and community stakeholders to track progress and hold us accountable. At the same time, we recognize the value of accessibility and ensure that these copies are delivered to our partners across the sector. Lastly, as we take this important step forward, I invite each one of you to work with us to ensure that this vision is curated and concrete programs, policies, and financed projects come into fusion. This strategy will only succeed if we do it together. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much for coming here today, and it is now my distinct honor to invite the Cabinet Secretary to address us and share the government's broader vision for the blue economy as we move toward together. Karibu sana, Waziri. Asante.
Asante sana, please. Yeah, how do I place this? Check this. Excellencies, distinguished development partners, private sector leaders, civil society, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Mariatu, we had been invited for breakfast to watch over others as they have their coffee. Me and you will have our breaking of our fast later this evening, so we'll balance it with, and we won't invite them. Tutawacha nje. It is a profound honor to join you at the launch of Kenya's National Blue Economy Strategy, a milestone that signals our determination to place our ocean, lakes, and other aquatic resources at the center of our national development agenda. This strategy builds on the journey that Kenya began in earnest at the 2018 Nairobi Sustainable Blue Economy Conference and on subsequent policy advances, including the Vision 2030, the Bottom-Up Economic Transformation Agenda, and the strategic plan of the State Department of Blue Economy and Fisheries. Kenya is a maritime nation with strategic maritime assets driving jobs, trade, food and nutrition security, climate resilience, and regional integration. Yet, for too long, the blue economy has been treated as peripheral rather than foundational to our economic planning. This strategy corrects that. It explicitly positions the blue economy and fisheries as core drivers of our growth, fully aligned with our aspirations under the Vision 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals. At the policy level, this strategy establishes a cohesive framework for coordinate the numerous initiatives related to ocean and aquatic resources. These include fisheries and aquaculture, ports and shipping, coastal and maritime and marine tourism, maritime security, marine spatial planning, environmental protection and climate action. It also addresses cabinet decisions aimed at developing a national marine spatial plan, strengthening monitoring,
control and surveillance, and modernize fisheries and maritime infrastructure. The goal really is to ensure that our governance of blue economy is integrated, science-based and forward-looking. Ladies and gentlemen, our policy ambition at home is matched by our responsibility abroad. This year, Kenya will host the 11th edition of our Ocean Conference from the 16th to the 18th of June in Mombasa. Under the theme, Our Ocean, Our Heritage, Our Future. This will be the first of our Ocean Conference to be held on African soil, ever, for the first time. It offers us a unique diplomatic platform to showcase African leadership, mobilize new partnerships, and bring our communities' realities to the center of global ocean governance and conversation. In this sense, today's launch and the upcoming conference are tightly connected. The strategy provides our national blueprint. The Our Ocean Conference provides the global market space and ideas, finance and partnerships to accelerate its implementation. As I conclude, I would like to address three key constituencies directly. To our sister ministries and county governments, the blue economy spans across multiple mandates. And I invite you to view this strategy as a collaborative framework rather than a sector-specific document. It is essential to incorporate its priorities into your respective plans, be it in transport and infrastructure, tourism, environment and climate change, energy, trade, security, and education. And to the private sector, investors and financial institutions. Embracing the blue economy is not merely a moral imperative. It represents a significant growth opportunity. There are promising prospects in areas such as cold chains and logistics, processing, ecotourism, port and shipping services, renewable energy, insurance, and blue bonds. I urge you to work with us to design bankable projects, innovative financing instruments, and responsible business models that align profit with people and the health of our planet. To our development partners, civil society, researchers, and communities, your role as co-creators, watchdogs, and innovators are vital to our success. We welcome your support, be it technical, financial, or analytical, as we implement this strategy and work towards a successful, inclusive, and impactful Our Ocean Conference in Mombasa. Together, let us ensure that the commitments we make in this strategy and Our Ocean Conference are specific, measurable, and effectively fulfilled. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya has chosen to treat the blue economy not as a slogan, but as a pillar to our development statecraft. With this National Blue Economy Strategy, and with the privilege of hosting our 11th edition of Our Ocean Conference, we have both a vision and a moment. Let us use both very wisely for our people, for our neighbors in the Western Indian Ocean, and for the global ocean that connects us all. With these remarks, I'm honored to officially launch, on behalf of the Government of Kenya, and the national, I'm honored to officially launch, on behalf of the government of Kenya, the National Blue Economy Strategy, and to reaffirm our commitment to welcoming the world to Mombasa in June 2026 for our 11th edition conference that will be held in Mombasa on the 16th to the 18th of June. If you want to now sample Kenya and enjoy the sumptuous and the culture and the hospitality, then there is your opportunity. Enjoy the food, the people, the beaches, the marine spaces. Please book it 16th to 18th of June this year. So ladies and gentlemen, let me say thank you, and may God bless you. May God bless our ocean and the Republic of Kenya. Asanteni sana.
All right, thank you very much, Waziri. I think we can do better at applauding our CS. Thank you so much again for your sentiment. And to all those that are currently in the room, by scanning this QR code, you will get the full copy of the strategic plan. Remember, the strategic plan covers 2025 all the way to 2030. So just scan the QR code and you'll have a copy for yourself. Now, just to remind you what the CS has talked about, and this is something very specific that for those that rely on our digital gadgets, mark the date on your calendars. It is the 16th to 18th of June. Set a reminder today. You don't want to miss. If you've enjoyed the conversations that we've had here today, hii ni kionjo. As our brothers from the coast would say, hii ni kionjo. If you want to know what the sector has to offer, if you're looking for investment opportunities, make sure you are at that conference to come and explore those opportunities and have those conversations with like-minded partners, and let's move this conversation forward. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome back on stage our PS to give her vote of thanks. But before the PS comes back on stage, I'd like to draw your attention to the screen. This is the setup for the conference, the Ocean Conference that is coming to Kenya for the very first time in Africa. Let's watch.
The ocean connects every coastline and sustains all life on Earth. It powers economies, feeds communities, and drives climate resilience. And for the past decade, the world has come together to protect it. Since 2014, our Ocean Conference has become a global force for change. With every new host, momentum has grown, turning promises into action. More than 2,900 commitments. Over $169 billion pledged, 81% already underway. One continent at a time, the movement has spread across the globe. Now, for the first time, our ocean comes to Africa, a continent rich in marine life, culture, and bold leadership for ocean sustainability. With 30,000 kilometers of coastline across 38 countries, Africa is ready to lead. In 2026, Kenya will host the 11th Our Ocean Conference and is uniquely placed to connect global solutions. As the baton passes, Africa will shape what comes next to protect our ocean as a source of life, food, and opportunity for generations to come. We look forward to welcoming you to Kenya.
Thank you so much, everybody. For me, just to say thank you to our Cabinet Secretary for making this happen, and also for your leadership, for your support, and for your vision. I want to thank our honorable members of parliament, led today here by the chair and the vice chair. I want to thank the COG, the Council of Governors, excellencies, ambassadors of governments of various diplomatic corps, our PSAs representing the various ministries, departments, and state agencies, the UN agencies, our development partners, NGOs, philanthropists, the private sector, various associations, the BMU network, and many other players. But specifically, I want to thank the World Bank, TLC, IFAD, EU, and other partners. The World Bank supported us with resources to making this blue economy strategy happen. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for making this a successful day and a successful event. With those few remarks, allow me to wish our CS, His Excellency, Hassan Ali Joho, happy birthday. Waziri, on behalf of the State Department and on behalf of the ministry, we wish you a happy birthday. May Allah bless you this special day and throughout this year. May He grant you good health and happiness in the days of your life. Happy birthday, Waziri!
Alright, a moment to celebrate our Cabinet Secretary, the Honorable Ali Hassan Joho, on his birthday. Alright, let's allow Waziri to come and cut the cake. Happy birthday. Happy makofi ya Waziri as he cuts the cake. And we celebrate our CS. Alright, let's try and find out who's singing the most, because that's the person who's going to give a cake today. Alright.
Hi, media team. You can reduce the voice a bit. Hello, media team, kindly. So, because as Ms. Mariatu and the CS, as he said, you know, we are fasting with our Muslim brothers during this period of Ramadan. So we'll share one of the cakes with all of you, the people who are not fasting, but we'll give the other cake to the CS to go share with his family from, I think, 6:54 p.m. in the evening when they break the fast. So with those few remarks, I thank everybody, and I want to now go to the next level, which is the last level of having group photos. So I request the MC to come back on stage so that we can be able to have the group photos. And we'll start, the first photo will be the Cabinet Secretary with the colleagues' PSS. Then we'll go to the other protocols that we had planned for the group photos. So our good caterers, kindly you can move the cake and then you can plan as you had agreed so that you can be able to have a photo session moment. Right, so Honorable CS, karibu for the photo.
Alright, to our colleagues in the media, I think this is the time for us to get ready for those moments to capture this launch of this day. Waziri, happy birthday once again. Thank you very much. Alright, we wish you good health. Alright? So we'll start with the permanent secretaries that are with us this morning. To our colleagues in the media, please let's make sure we definitely capture this moment. I'm told we have international photographers, so gentlemen and ladies and lady, let's make sure we have our best side captured during this moment. All right, photographers, are we comfortable? We okay? All right. I'd also like to invite members of the diplomatic corps to also join the CS for a round of photos. Karibuni sana. A round of applause for them as they make their way. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's okay to smile. It's perfectly fine to smile. You don't have to be too official. All right. Photographers, are we okay? Colleagues? Okay. So at this point, I'll request all ambassadors and high commissioners to take their seats and invite the private sector to join the CS and the PSs on stage for a picture together. All members of the private sector as well as development partners. All right, let's spread out and make sure that we capture everyone on that frame. All right, clearly the private sector is well represented in these photos. Gentlemen, let's look at the photographers. All right, we seem to be okay. We say it's perfectly fine to smile and don't get tired of smiling. It's a happy day. So let's ensure we have our best smiles out for the photographers. All right, thank you very much, the private sector. You may take your seats. And request Waziri and the PSs to stay on stage as we invite members of parliament as well as the committee to come and join the CS right here. All right, I know we still have members of the Council of Governors. Please, the representative of the Council of Governors, you can also join in on this round of pictures. These are the drivers of policy, so let's make sure we capture them properly. They're good sides. All right, asanteni sana. I request Waziri and the team to take their seats. All right, so we want to call on state departments under the ministry. If you're here representing the State Department and the Ministry of Mining, Fisheries and Blue Economy, if you're in the room, you can also join in with His Excellency the Cabinet Secretary for a round of photos. This, I believe, should be the very last photo that we take. So anyone from the ministry, kindly make your way to the front.